In our last video, we completed solving all the problems of the MOMUP1 section, and now I am gonna start solving the problems of the Array-1 section. The current problem at hand is firstLast6. Here comes the 5-second break for you to pause and attempt this problem on your own. Alright. So in the firstLast6 method, we will be given an integer array nums, and we need to return true in case 6 appears as either the first or the last element in the given array. And we have been told that array length will always be equal to 1 or more. Let's use these examples to understand the problem better. In the first example, the last element is 6, hence we are returning true. In the second example, the first element is 6, hence again we are returning true. But if we see the third example, here neither the first element is 6 nor the last element is 6, hence we are returning false. So how can we solve this problem? We just need to determine the first and the last element and then compare it with 6. In case any of the element is equal to 6, then return true, else return false. How do we access the first and the last element? One thing that we need to keep in mind is few things. First of all, in Java, indexing begins from 0, which means if I am having an array int array is equal to new int something like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, so this element is at index 0, this element is at index 1, and so on. Basically, to access the nth element, we need to pass in the index n minus 1. Let me show you. For int I is equal to 0, I is less than add dot length I plus plus s out, the element at index d is d, and I array of I. See, so this is how we can say indexing begins from 0. Second thing is, in Python we can access the last element using the -1 or negative index, but Java disallows this. If I were to show you s out trying to access the last element of array using -1, if we try to pass in the negative index, we will be getting a runtime exception, which is the array index out of bound exception, array of -1. This will trigger exception. Let me show you. See, index -1 out of bounds for the length 10. Also, if you try to pass in the index which is greater than the length, something like 12, again we will be having the same exception. Index 12 out of bounds for length 10. But we can go ahead and access the last element in Python using the negative index also. Let me show you how. Something like array which is list of integers and define it as 1 2 3 4 5 6 and print the first element of array is array of 0. Here also the indexing begins from 0 only, but the difference is here we can also use the negative index. The last element of array is array of -1. This should print out the 1 and the next line should print out, second line should print out 6. Let's see. Now the question arises, how can then we access the last element in languages like Java? So it's quite simple. If we know the length of the array, then we can find the last element using the length -1. Since we understood in the beginning, the indexing begins from 0, and in order to access the nth element, we need to pass in n-1 index. How can we find the length of the array? Using the array.length method, array.length property. This is where beginners get confused. We are having two similar names, length and length. Length is a property which is available on the arrays and is used to determine the length of any array, while length with these braces or brackets is a method which is available for the string class. Let me show you. String str is equal to hello s out. The length of string is determined by length, and it is, in this case it is str dot length. Similarly, the length of array is determined by length property, and in our case it's array dot length. If you try to mix them, then of course compiler will complain, method call accepted. And similarly here also, if you try to remove it, compiler is gonna complain. What's happening here? Yes, cannot resolve the symbol length. So this is a major thing that you need to remember. Let's see. Yes. So now coming back to our question, first of all let me remove this line. We know we can access the last element using the length -1, and for your information, that thing can also be done in the Python as well, but in Python we are having the shorthand notation, so generally we make use of this thing only. It's also a completely valid syntax, len of array -1. This will also result in 6. So let's do now. Int first element is equal to nums of 0. First element always lies at the index 0. Int last element is equal to nums of nums dot length -1. Now we need to return true if either first element is equal to 6 or last element is equal to 6. So we can write return first element equal to 6 or last element equal to 6. Let's now run the test cases and verify. Yeah, all of them pass. One thing which we need to keep in mind is, since here it has been mentioned the array length will be always greater than or equal to 1, hence we are not putting any check before doing this. In case we are having the empty array, so both of these will throw the exception because the array is empty, so we can't neither access the element at 0 nor we can access at the -1. Since we can hence we can straight away write this logic. Now let's add this port on the portal and push our port to GitHub. Yes, all are correct. Let's see, 2 files added, first solution and first test, and git commit array1, not here, it will be pasted here, glg and gpush. Let's verify the code has been uploaded. It has been uploaded. We can check from here only. Done.